Hey Sam, have you heard of that subscription box that's for chickens and their keepers?
Oh, yes, I have. In fact, I've been a longtime subscriber and a big fan of the chicken box that sends me stuff for me and for my chickens.
Yes, and that would be the Henny and Roo box, right?
Correct. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner. I don't want to say chicken dinner. No.
Oh, yeah, the chickens might not like that.
But anyways, I totally enjoy that we can get this chicken box of treats and first aid and treats for the humans just delivered right to your door every single month. Small family run business, and they check out all the products and test them out on their flock before sending to us.
And if you're not a subscriber of Honey and Roo yet, you should go ahead and get on that over on honeyandroo.com and you can use the code drink and farm, that's and spelled out with A-N-D, and you'll get 10% off your first subscription. And when you support our sponsors, you're supporting our podcast, which is super awesome of you. Cheers. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Bev. How's it going?
Oh, it's going good.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you? Oh,
Oh,
that
that's
didn't
bad.
make as
Oh,
lot of a noise as I had
that's...
hoped it would.
Let me try. Let me try mine.
Okay.
Was that good?
That was good.
Okay. I wasn't sure with because it was on the desk and not super close to the mic, so I didn't know. So I redeemed us by opening my can.
Perfect. Yeah, I opened a bottle, which I haven't done in
Oh,
a long time, and I kind of thought it would give me, like that happy like clink,
yeah.
but at least the headphones didn't pick it up. Who knows? Maybe these fancy mics picked it up. Who knows?
Maybe. I guess you'll find out
Yeah.
later. So what did you just open that was in a bottle? Ooh, I can hear
So,
it. I can hear it as you pour it though.
oh, good. That's what I was hoping for. I'm
Ooh.
like holding it up to like the pop filter.
Because we don't have a lot of money to buy our own sound effects.
Right?
We just gotta do the real thing.
That's all right. The real thing is like even better, right?
Because we're super authentic over here.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes, we're so authentic.
right. So this is Jackie O's Mixed Farm,
Ooh.
except they took all of the vowels out.
Oh.
So it's MXDFRM. Mixed Farm. No, that's not. I don't know.
Max. Mix. X.
But I'm pretty
Farms.
sure it's supposed to be mixed farm or maxed
Oh yeah.
farm. I don't know. Oh no, mixed fermentation. So, oh, that's what it is. It's mixed fermentation. But because it was the
Oh.
FRM, I thought that was
You're like
farm.
farm.
So I was all excited. I was like, this beer is perfect. It says farm on it, except it's missing the A. So this is a stainless steel fermented mixed culture Saison style ale.
Ooh.
So
Nice.
mixed fermentation is the act of blending yeast and bacteria to create something unique and daring. Nah, I'm not going to read the history of Jackie O's fermentation, you know.
Yeah.
That's not really nearly as interesting. But Jackie O's is one of my favorite breweries. They're a local Ohio brewery, and they're in Athens, Ohio, which is just in the next
Oh.
county over from me. Or no, they're actually two counties over. But Athens is one of the places that we looked at when we were house shopping in Ohio, because Athens is like kind of hippie and funky, and there's a college there, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, topping my
Interesting.
beer off. Maybe you can hear
Ooh.
that. It's a nice beer too. It's like got like a nice straw color to it. It's very clear. I can't wait to drink it. So, what are you drinking, Sam?
So my beer fridge was looking a little sad, and I didn't feel like wine today. I know, shocker. Chickens and wine didn't want wine today. I almost opened a bottle up because it looked good and it's a local wine, but I'll save it because I didn't have it refrigerated and it's a white. So I went out to my beer fridge and got Kugel's Orange Shandy. Ooh,
Mm.
which it's a Midwest beer. The Kugel's is out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. So,
Yep, it
you
totally
know.
is. I think it was bought out by AB InBev while they were
Hmm.
doing like their brewery buyout. In fact, AB InBev bought one of my favorite local breweries from Arizona just a few years ago, and it caused like this
Oh.
big, huge like hoopla. Like people were yelling that everybody was like a sellout for letting AB InBev buy them and whatnot. But, you know, like I understand wanting to support local beer and, you know, have your beer all, you know, produced locally and having that connection and community. But at the same time, nobody starts a business hoping that they're going to be the ones doing all of the hard work for it, like
Yeah.
until the day that they die. So like AB InBev thought their brewery was good enough to buy, like
Just,
good for
yeah.
them. Like that's a retirement plan. So
Yeah.
I understand people's like internal selfish, you know, wanting the beer to stay local and stay small. Because, you know, when we discover those things that we think are special and we want to hold on to them, we want to keep them to ourselves. But like businesses, they need more people coming to them. They need to be crowded. Like if you have to fight in the parking lot to get a spot for a place, that means that the business is succeeding. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know why that's on my, I don't know why that's on my head right now. It just popped in.
It's a good little tangent. But I will say
Yeah.
what I find really interesting about these cans is that the serving size and nutritional facts are on these cans. It's not like full out what everything is, but it's like a little square. And this can of beer is only 137 calories. So I feel much better about my choice right now. Because when I was like,
Ooh.
beer over wine, like that's probably going to be like 200 calories. Nope. And it's only like 12 grams of carbs. So I'm kind of glad I brought two in here just in case, because now I feel less guilty after reading that.
I think mine is a big sized beer. So I just Googled it really quick just because I didn't want to give false information about Leinenkugel's company. And it is owned by Miller Cooler. Miller Coors,
Oh.
not AB InBev. Yeah.
But still, Miller Coors is pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's a big brewery also. But I believe that they did start as like a small local brewery. So good for them. Good for them.
90s. Yes.
And I've always actually really enjoyed their beer. They were one of my like gateway beers when I started getting into craft beer.
Gateway beer. I love it.
Well, one of the tricky things about craft beer is that when breweries are starting out, like for the first time when they're still super small, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get when you go. So, like, you'll
Yeah.
order a beer and it won't necessarily be the same the next time. Like, these bigger companies, they perform their production at such a large scale and like so scientifically tuned that every time I open a Leinenkugel's summer shandy, like it always tastes exactly the same.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's something to be said for consistency.
It's magic.
It is magic.
Consistency is magic. Yes.
Oh, this is just a tiny bit bigger than one beer. It's 1 pint, 0.9 ounces. I don't know why they made these bottles like strangely shaped like that. This isn't the first Jackie O's in a bottle like this that I've drank. I can't remember what the other one was, but I drink a lot of Jackie O's beer on this because it's so close to me.
Hey, it's local advertisement for free.
Right?
I was actually thinking about that today. I was like, we give so much free advertisement to what we drink. Like, technically, we probably shouldn't, but I don't really care. Like, I think it's fun to share, like, different, like, that's kind of the feel of this podcast. We share everything. We share our
Right.
experiences. We share what we like to drink because we just want to give the people what they want. And that is a wealth of information ranging from beer, wine, liquor, information, duck
Well,
noodle dicks, goat penises, like, ass balls. I think was the last episode, wasn't it?
yep,
Yeah.
that was what was on the last one. Well, we always have to share something slightly inappropriate because otherwise we're not
Exactly.
living up to our promise, which is
And
a little bit of education and some slightly inappropriate fun.
and now the podcast is 18 episodes old, so it's legal now. If
So
our
we're allowed to do
podcast-
things like talk about balls,
Yes,
and the
yes.
adults can't look at us funny.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, technically, we probably shouldn't drink because we're not episode 21 yet. But before we know it,
Yeah, it's gonna be here sooner than we think. I mean, you know how fast everybody ages and
Yeah.
how fast time goes by.
speaking of being here before we know it, Naperville Ale Fest. Just gonna
Yes.
plug a Rooney that really quick because this will drop on the 29th, and then
Yep.
it'll be like in 2 weeks, July 14th. we will be at the Naperville Ale Fest in Naperville, Illinois. And depending on what ticket you buy, either the VIP or the regular, you guys will get in between like noon and 1, and it goes till 5. So make sure if you're in the Midwest area and can make it out, come find us.
Yeah, let us know that you'll be there. You can comment on this podcast episode, like in iTunes. If you leave a comment on it, like we'll get to see it, I think.
Ooh.
Or you can, like send us a message on Instagram, comment on something on Instagram, join our super fun group. There's all sorts of ways to get a hold of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know that you'll be there, because then we'll know that we need to get a hold of you to like get together with you.
I mean, I'll be perfectly happy if it's just us.
Well, it won't just be us, because Tina from Henny and Rue is going to be there.
Yes.
So if you want to meet her as well, like, I mean, we're just, we're sweetening the deal. Is there anybody else we can name drop that's coming?
I'm super sad that my Brittany won't be there. She told me she can't be there. So my heart is broken, and I just don't know if I can go on. But yeah, she won't be there. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I should just pose the question on our Instagram and on our Facebook group to see who is going.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for this first one, I'm not expecting it to be a big crowd of people. Like, we're not. I don't think our audience is big enough to draw a crowd to something like that yet. But we're definitely working on it.
Oh yeah,
maybe
we're getting there.
So.
Yeah, well, I plan on being at the winter one in February of next year, and then we'll probably be at the summer one again. So in a year, a lot can change. And I mean, it just blows my mind, like, how much we're growing every, like, week over week. And, like, people are leaving us reviews on iTunes, and everybody's so nice to us. We haven't gotten anything hateful yet, which is probably good. But I mean, once the haters start rolling in, I think that's when we've made it. So we haven't quite made it yet.
So I was kind of thinking about that the other day, and I kind of think that the haters haven't rolled in because, like, we try really hard not to, like, send out anything hateful in our podcast. Like,
right.
Basically the underlying message of every episode is like, farm how you need to for your situation. We're just going to share the funny, the sad, the hard, like all of the parts of what we're doing, and hopefully you can relate to it and be a good human.
Yeah, don't suck.
That's the theme of every episode. Yeah. Be a good human.
Yeah. And, like, I'm not
we want to be a good human.
Yeah, I want to be a good human, but I also want people to realize, like, I'm not going to speak for Bev. Maybe Bev's perfect. I don't know. But I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be perfect. And I don't want to make somebody feel bad for their imperfections either. Like, no matter, like, how they farm or live their life, like, I never want to purposely make anybody feel bad.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, has anybody ever actually, like, changed somebody's mind in the history of ever by shaming them or making them feel bad? Like, I don't know. Like, I see those, like, those titles for articles on the internet that are, like, made specifically to, like, fire people up, like, either one way or the other. And I just roll my eyes at them because I'm like, all you did was make the people who think the way that you do about that subject cheer, and the people who think the opposite of you groan, and they're going to have a big fight in the comment section. So I guess you did what you were hoping you were going to do. But last time I checked, we were all a little better off when we tried to find common ground. So I don't know.
Exactly.
That's just not our style.
No. And I don't have time for that. Like, I mean, you and me, we both work full time. You have kids running around, which I don't know how you're like freaking Wonder Woman over there running around with all the stuff you got going on.
Nope, not even close.
Well, that's how I perceive you, which is kind of funny because we talk every week. And it's interesting because they say perception is reality, and it's that person's reality. So my reality, like, looking at Bev is like, holy shit, how does she have herself together so much? Like, I know weird shit happens to you all the time, but
it's the weirdest things happen.
Yes. Yeah. And people might look at my Instagram and think I have my shit together, which I do not at all. Like, But that's why I share, like, when a flock member dies, like, I will share it so you can learn about it and not have that happen to you. Whereas other people might just not share those experiences because they don't want to look bad.
Well, and I've seen more of that, like coming up in my Instagram feed. I've seen more
Yeah.
people sharing the things that go wrong, and it always just like warms my heart a little bit because like whenever I see something like that, I always try to comment on it to give them a word of encouragement. Now, now the Instagram algorithm is kind of a dick, so I don't get to see everything that
Yeah.
everybody that I follow posts. So if I miss one of those, I'm really sorry because I don't intend to. My intention is whenever I see something like that is to just extend like a hand of understanding and
Yeah.
some words of comfort, or like, I don't know. I hate it when I see somebody comment on one of those. It's like, well, if you had only done this, I'm like, shut up. I
Oh,
almost just used the F
yeah.
word.
Well, and here's the
Like,
thing.
you can't do anything about it now. Like,
No.
that's not
No.
helpful. You're not making anybody feel better. All you're doing is making somebody feel worse.
Yeah.
Like, if
And how do you know
only,
that they
like,
didn't? How do you know that they
yeah,
didn't?
right? Yeah, you have no idea. You weren't there when it
No.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like I felt kind of bad this week because I've had like a lot of death in my flock the past week. And because of that freaking algorithm, I almost said the F word too. You're going to have to, like, if we do, we'll just put like a rooster crow over it or something.
Oh, I like that. I can totally do that. Yeah, that'll work.
So you don't have to censor myself. You'll just have to put a sound over it. But I felt really
Or
bad because,
maybe this will be a podcast that starts saying the F word. Maybe we should put up a
like,
poll. I don't
yeah,
know.
like
Because
my favorite murderer, they said the F
we,
word all day.
right? I was just thinking to myself about how, like, sorry, I didn't mean to, like, totally interrupt you. We'll go
No,
back
you're
to it.
fine.
But I was thinking to myself, somebody had asked me, like, to describe, like, what our, like, purpose was and whatnot. And I was like, this is a place for adults to just, like, have a break and unwind. So that's why I intentionally made it so that it was meant for adults and not
Yeah.
for children, because there's
Yep.
enough things that are made for children, and there are tons of really great farming, well, not tons, but there are a few really great farming podcasts out there that you can listen to in the presence of your kids. Like A Farmish Kind of Life is one of them. So is like the Living Homegrown podcast. So like if you have to listen in front of your kids, there are some podcasts for you that you can do that. But that's not what we are. We're the podcast that you put your headphones on and you pour yourself your favorite adult beverage and you sit back and you relax and you get to enjoy it, like a little bit of adult conversation. I don't
Yes,
know.
that's exactly what I was just gonna say, because I can't, like, I don't have children of my own, but I can't imagine being stay-at-home mom or a work from home mom and you're around your kids all day in the summer, or if they're like super little and all you talk to is children. Like I can't even imagine what it would feel like just to pop a podcast in my head and be like, yes, adults, woo. Like, I think that's important.
They didn't use the word Hiney.
Yeah. Or did she? Not that there's anything wrong with that, like you said. It's
No,
just
yeah.
this is our brand of the farm lifestyle, and some people aren't gonna like it. I think we've done pretty well so far, like weeding those people out and then being respectful enough just to leave and not say, ugh, those filthy whores, listen to them talk and drink and carry on for an hour and a half. We haven't gotten any of that yet. But I was looking at my favorite murderers comments today because I finally just like subscribed instead of just looking at it like every week. And like some people were like, gosh, they can't even pronounce things correctly.
Oh,
I'm
we
like,
can't pronounce things correctly all the time.
no. I was like, hopefully we get to this level someday where people get mad that we can't say like Appalachian or Appalachian.
It's Appalachian.
Yeah.
I only know that because I'm on the foothills of the Appalachians. Yeah.
See, but my teachers always said Appalachian, so I've been taught wrong my whole life.
That's because you were taught in Michigan.
Yeah, I was taught in
And
a
they don't know
public school.
anything.
They don't know anything. No.
You didn't get my Michigan joke. Dang it.
I ignored it. All right. I just let, when people come at me, I just let it roll off my shoulders. So there's that.
I was trying to get you to engage with me. Dang it.
Oh no. Bev's a bully. Anyways, going back to the freaking Instagram algorithm.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that's what we're going back to right now.
Yeah. But like I think they just hadn't seen my 2 previous chicken death posts and they saw my story that my chicken, like I had a sick chicken, and she was trying, like, she's very kind and I love her, and she plays along with Chicken Selfie Sunday every Sunday, and she's just great. But I don't think she realized that I've already dealt with like 2 chicken deaths, and well, actually 3 by that time, 3 chicken deaths, and lost a duck in like the matter of like a week and a half. And
Yeah,
she
that's a
started
lot of
like
loss.
asking me like what I had done, or am I doing this, this, and this? And I got like super pissed and like kind of got snippy with her, but it was also like 7 o'clock in the morning and I hadn't had coffee yet, so I shouldn't have been in my DMs anyways.
Right. Yeah, no. You got to save the DMs for coffee.
Yeah. And I felt kind of bad like afterwards, because I was like, well, I know it's either probably this or this based on the gross necropsy, which we can talk about later. And yes, I already am doing this, this, and this. But it's like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like because Instagram stories and seeing things in the feed, like you feel like you know people. So you feel like even though they don't ask for help, you should just like give it to them.
Yeah.
It kind of gets like she was just trying to be nice and I felt bad. I didn't apologize or anything. So if you're listening, you know who you are. I'm sorry for being an a-hole. I didn't mean it, but
Well,
yeah.
and you know what? Maybe you weren't being an a-hole. Part of it just kind of depends on how, like, what tone of voice you read it in. Whenever I
Yeah.
read somebody's post or a message, I always try to read it in a friendly tone, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Just because, like, psychologically, if I am saying the thing that they wrote in a super bitchy tone, then I'm going to perceive it that way and I'm gonna get defensive. But if I read it in like a happy, chipper, like excited tone, then if it was something that wasn't necessarily the nicest, like it is easier to roll off, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That's not a
called
bad thing though.
being charitable with the words
Oh,
that
there you
people,
go.
it's like a theme that I've got going on like the last several episodes. I think it's just because I have like this, my anxiety has like this like gnawing fear in the back of my head that somebody's going to take something that I said and like go like super crazy with it.
But yeah, no, I think that's a good way to think about it, because like reading her, when I was reading those messages pre-coffee, which if you don't know me very well, like it's not a good idea to talk to me before I've had coffee. It's just not. And my mom always said, like, until the wrinkles are gone from my forehead, don't talk to me. And that was correlated with coffee. So I kind of inherited that, I feel, even just reading messages. But the way it was coming off to me made me feel like insecure. And maybe that had something to do with me just feeling powerless over the past week and a half, like trying to figure out what's going on, waiting on the full necropsy results now. And, you know, my insecurities might have been coming out in those messages from her when she was just trying to be helpful. So that's why I think it's important to like sit on things and not overreact, you know, especially on social media. You got to be careful, right? Because it's there for forever. And you even see like celebrities will like say something and then delete it, but somebody's already screenshotted it.
Oh,
So
yeah. Everybody's got a
you gotta
screenshot
be
on their
careful.
computer. Like,
Or on their phones. It's super easy on
Oh,
your
yeah.
phone too. So yeah, I don't know. I just freaking. It's amazing that we let something like Instagram or Facebook or anything like control our feelings that way, because you can like just delete that app in like 2 seconds and all your problems are gone. But it kind of is. It's like, does it outweigh the good versus the bad? Because there is so much value, even in just the chicken community on Instagram, that it's like, okay, well, this is making me feel kind of upset or less than, but I'm getting all this other stuff out of it. I think you can think of like a lot of things in life like that. And we're getting kind of philosophical here. Philosophical corner with Sam.
I like it.
But it's like
Sam philosophizes. No, I said that wrong.
No.
Dang it.
It's made me sound like a
Philosophize?
fossil. Sam's a fossil.
How do you
Sam's
say that
only
word?
30.
What word am I thinking of?
Philosophical.
Well, but you
Philosophize?
can
Oh, somebody's gonna leave us a hateful review now because we can't say philosophicalize or whatever.
well, but it's not philosophicalize. It's like philosophize it or Is the Google gonna help me here? I don't think
Maybe.
so, unfortunately.
But
Yeah, forget it.
Where I was
I'm over
going
it.
with that is that like, okay, so you're gonna let something that took like 5 seconds out of your day. So I don't know. I'm bad at math. I don't know how many seconds are in 24 hours, but you're gonna let a 5 second thing like steal your joy for the rest of the day when you have all this other time in the day to be doing other productive things. Like really, really. Like I think it's important to like stew a little and process if you need to, but you definitely shouldn't dwell on it for very long and let it steal your joy, no matter what it is. Are you Googling?
So I think there's 2,073,600 seconds in a day.
Oh, wow.
That
See?
seems kind of like a lot. I think I did my math wrong. Yeah,
How
don't.
many? I can't spell many
Oh, that's what I
seconds
could have done. I just popped
in a
open
day.
a calculator. Bev's old.
It's 60 or 86,400 seconds in a day.
So why did I get 24 million? I did something wrong. Yeah, never mind.
Many minutes in a year. Okay, yeah. 525,600 minutes. Like the song in Rent. That's how many are in a year.
Oh,
Just FYI
yeah.
for any
Yeah.
musical theater nerds out there. Yeah, but the point is, don't let dickheads steal your joy because they're fleeting. You can use that block button if somebody really bothers you, you know, just block them or just walk away. Don't engage.
I was gonna say, when I see things I don't like, I just scroll past them
Exactly.
because chances are that person is
Yes.
gonna share something that I like the next time. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
I
don't
mean,
have
unless
to
I see like
agree
a
with
bunch of stuff in
everybody.
the row, and then I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
all right, I'm done. But
Like if
it
it's
doesn't happen very
hateful,
often.
like racist, disgusting stuff.
Oh yeah, there are
Obviously.
certain things that I don't.
Obviously.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't give second passes on racism or
No,
yeah.
no, no, no. We're not done with that here. No,
No,
no, no. But you guys, I'm sure you guys are all smart. You get what I'm saying here. Yes. Now
that
I'm
was a
gonna,
good corner.
yeah, philosophy corner, philosophical corner, Sam's pee corner. That just makes it sound like I'm peeing in a corner. Let's not go with that.
Yeah, no, let's not call it Sam's Pea Corner.
Anyways.
Although from now and forevermore, it will be known as Sam's Pea Corner.
Yeah. Great.
Hey, you said it, not me.
I know. That's because I'm almost done with this beer. That's how you know I'm getting philosophical. Good thing I brought a
Oh,
second
that was
one
quick.
in here. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it
like
is.
there's like a quarter left in there, I think, but I don't want it to get warm, so I'll have to finish it soon.
Yeah.
But anyways, sorry to get real deep on you there, guys.
Oh, that's all right.
know?
It was good. It was a good deep. It wasn't too deep. It was like just the right depth.
Like a pond that you wade into. Maybe it's up to your knees, you know.
There we go.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah, that's
there's
what I was going for.
some weeds in there, you know, that make your feet feel weird. It's that kind of pond.
Okay. Are things biting you in that pond?
Maybe just the like nibbling, like you know how I don't
Like
know
the
if you've seen
catfish?
or like you go to like get a pedicure and they have the little fish there that eat all the dead skin off your feet. Maybe
I have
like
never
that.
done that before.
I mean, neither, but it looks like fun.
Yeah, I think that looks like fun too. I would totally do that.
But we'll call it that kind of pond. So it was pleasant and kind
Okay.
of awkward at the same time.
So,
Sam talks about feelings.
so what was the full report from the necropsy?
Oh yeah,
Because we have not talked
So-
about that on this yet. I know you showed it to me,
No.
so I saw it.
Right, and that was actually just the preliminary, which
Oh,
is the
okay.
gross necropsy, which means it's just what they could visibly see that didn't like count any of the labs or anything.
Oh, okay.
Preliminary results show possible enteritis. They said there was no classical signs of Merrick's, so there were no tumors, there wasn't like asymmetry to the sciatic nerve, nothing like that. But they did say that she had striking atrophy in her pectoral muscles, which basically just means they had like wasted away, which makes sense based on the couple of other birds we've lost. Like they felt a little scrawny in that area. So I don't know if they've just like stopped eating or if something inside is eating away at them. Like they didn't really have an explanation for that. So They couldn't rule out Merrick's yet until the full results come in. So I'm still waiting on that. Hopefully I have it by the next time we record, or I'm going to be pissed because when you pay $190, I understand things take some time, but that is a long time to wait.
Yeah, like you kind of need your results back so that you can treat your flock accordingly.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
don't know, call me crazy, but
yeah,
yeah.
it's a pain. So enteritis is like basically an inflammation of the small intestine. So the bacteria in enteritis actually exists already in their intestine. It just can get out of balance and cause issues. So if you Google like enteritis in chickens, uh, the pictures are pretty nasty. It looks like the small intestine is like burned.
I'll put a link in the show notes to like a wiki page or some
Yeah,
famous chicken bloggers page all about it. Was it enteritis?
yeah.
Okay.
And basically they have really bad diarrhea and things like that, which makes total sense for the other three we lost because enteritis hits fast and then they're like gone. So the other three that we've lost, or has it only been two? One, two. I guess it's only been two.
So you've lost 3 total. You're
Yeah.
thinking of Groot the duck also.
Yeah. I lumped her in there. She just got taken by a predator, we think, which
Yeah.
is, still traumatic, but at least like not a disease. That makes me feel a little better, I guess, in a weird way.
I could see why. Yeah.
But with the other two, they just had like 0 signs and they just like dropped dead. Which with enteritis, it can happen very quickly like that when there's no symptoms. Flash kind of had that whole drunk walk thing, which was kind of scary because and then she kind of had trouble walking at all at the end there. So that links to the whole paralysis thing, which is scary. But at least with enteritis, it has like you can do like a 5 to 10 day period where it runs through your flock. You can lose anywhere between 2% to 50% of your flock with it. So we've been pretty lucky because it's really only been a handful of birds. Now, I do have another one quarantined right now, but she's been getting a dose of Thailand 50 every day. And she actually started eating again this morning, which is great because I was afraid like she just was done. But I think the antibiotics are helping for her, which Thailand 50 Thailand 50 given oral can help with the whole enteritis thing. Now with the other group, we lost a sultan, a 10-week-old sultan this week, and we have a group of them in the chicken tractor. So what I did there was put a dose of Corid into their water so they're all drinking it because they're not laying yet. So I don't have to worry about egg withdrawal or anything like that with them. So they're all just getting it now and they're all seem fine. They're all eating. So I don't know if it was just a freak thing because my husband did an amazing job cleaning out the coop while I was at work last week. To make sure like we're getting whatever is in there out of there. And hopefully it's just done now. Because it's pretty devastating. And oh my God, we have so many roosters right now. We need to get rid of them. But I can't in good conscience get rid of them until I know exactly what's going on and treat them if I need to before we send them on their merry way. Because there's just too many of them right now. It's so bad.
I'm still hoping I can take one of them from you.
Well, yeah, so if you don't get Snape, then I have 2 others that are boys that look just like him.
Okay.
That are younger. So you'll get one of them if you want.
I'll rename him Severus Snape.
Yeah. Well, because we got
Or maybe I'll just call him Alan Cluckman.
Oh, there you go. I kind of like that. Because we have Cluck Norris, who was the one I had to like swap somebody for because I thought he was when I feather sexed them, but I don't know if that breed you could feather sex very easily. And she lives in city limits, so I had to switch a hen with her. So
Yeah.
I have Cluck Norris, and then I have another one, and I just started calling him Lucius today.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, so I'll hook you up with one of those. Once I know
it's
they're healthy.
as long as it's a Harry Potter rooster, I don't care.
Yeah, there you go. But you can rename it whatever you want. That won't offend me.
Then like all of my farm noises that I hear, like it'll feel more complete with a rooster walking around, like doing his thing. Like the goats have moved out into the pasture now. Today is their first full day on the pasture.
Aww.
Yesterday it was raining, so I only put them out there until it started raining, and then I put them back in the barn. But they've been a little upset with me. They keep like pacing the fence, yelling at me to come get them and put them back in their barn. But I'm like, no goats, you have toys. You have a shelter. Granted, the shelter's not finished, but it's a shelter from the weather. It's totally usable for that if they needed it. And you have tons of stuff to graze on. So enjoy.
Yeah. They'll get used to it. They'll like it before they know it. So
Yeah, I'm hoping so. There's number 2.
Ding, ding, ding. That was a good noise for like a segue.
That was, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to record some booze noises and like mix those in with our segues.
Ooh,
That's not a bad
yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
So what'd you open?
Oh, same thing.
Oh, okay. So you just had like 2 cans of the same beer.
Yes. I was organized today with my beer.
I like that. And I was just thinking to myself, I kind of wish I would have brought a second one in here because, you know, like there's no one here. So I can do whatever I want.
Oh,
But
that's right.
I have to go finish the mowing. So.
Oh, and that's drinking and driving if you're not careful. So.
Will they actually give you a DUI on a mower? I'm sure they would.
Can. You can get a DUI on I think it's like you can get a DUI on a bike.
I have heard that before.
Yeah. But I feel like if you're on your own property, they can't do that. Just don't crash into anything, you'll be fine. Not that we're condoning drinking and farming on heavy machinery. We're just joking.
Yeah, no.
Cutting
This is a
herself
joke.
off.
Yeah.
But
that's
after
why I
she's
only
done
brought one in
mowing.
here. Yeah. After I'm done mowing, I'll take a picture of my chore beer and we can all revel in all of the work that I got done today. Unfortunately, it's only going to be mowing and like a tiny bit of weeding, but it's still a lot of work.
Yeah. We got sucked into a documentary this morning. So the only thing I got done is, what did I get done? Watering my plants. Yeah. And that's about it. And I found out another one of my chickens has bumblefoot. So I get to do that later too.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole drink and bumblefoot episode so that we can go into detail on how to recognize bumblefoot and how to treat it. So we won't talk about that right now.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try to take a video of it this time. I don't know how, but I'm in like, so I can have it in like fast motion. And then when we do that episode, we can like share that.
Oh, that would be super cool. So I have a tripod and I have a thing that attaches to my phone so that I can record things and do it that way. I mean, I'm so camera shy. I haven't actually used it, but I own one.
We're going to have to get over that because we're going to have to do some lives in our group.
That's right. We should do one. Maybe we should do one today.
We should schedule something.
We'll think about that. Yeah.
Hey, Bev, what's your favorite treat to give your chickens? Oh, it's definitely Grubblies. Oh, well, what a coinkydink. That's mine too. We're like the same person. I know. It's so weird, right? But one of the main reasons I love Grubbly Farms is because they're a small business run by like 2 really young, fantastic businessmen, and it actually started in their laundry room. Now, I don't know about you, but getting boys to do their laundry is kind of a struggle. So it doesn't surprise me that this started in their laundry room with 700 black soldier fly grubs. That's amazing. So not only are you supporting a small business when you purchase Grubblies, but you're also giving like the healthiest treat that you possibly can to your chickens because they're super high in protein, they're super high in calcium, so it means strong eggshells and strong healthy feathers. And seriously, the Grubblies bring all the hens to the yard. Yes, and they're like, it's better than worms. Yes. So use code WINE20 at checkout. You'll get 20% off your first order of Grubblies. And they also have a super sweet subscription. So you can just bring the Grubblies to your house every month without thinking about it. And your chickens will love you for forever, basically. True that.
So, I've got the turkey eggs are in the incubator and they're on lockdown.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was a little off on how far along they were. The farmer didn't know because he didn't remember when his hen went to go like sit on the eggs. So we had no idea how far along the eggs were. And I had guessed between 10 and 14 days on the day that I got them. So if they were 14 days old when I got them, they should have hatched sometime Friday, but they didn't yet. So I went ahead and put them on lockdown yesterday because I thought like we're getting pretty close to that window because they couldn't have been any younger than 10 days because you wouldn't have seen hardly anything in there less than 10 days on a turkey egg. It's kind of hard to see and they're hard to see through.
Yeah.
And you could see all sorts of stuff in there. So I knew that they were relatively well developed, so they weren't still just like embryos and veins. There was you could see the eye and you could see a couple of other things, and I saw a couple like feather shadows or at least like talon shadows. I don't know, I saw shadows or something. But they haven't internally pipped yet either, so I keep checking them for internal pips. So I guess they're technically not really on lockdown. I just turned the humidity up, put the shelf down so that they're on the bottom part so that the poults have room to stand up once they finish hatching out. And I'm just keeping an eye on them. I'm not turning them anymore. I'm handling them very carefully. They're actually shaking in there. Like I'll open the top and you can like see the egg like doing a little dance. So, I mean, I think they might actually hatch. I mean, we'll see, but they got to get through like the hard part, but they're definitely working on it. No internal pips, so no external pips yet. But there's still movement in a lot of them. But I have a super awful egg story that I have to share.
Oh, yes.
So, I had that one egg that I knew the air sac had broken in it, but I left it in there anyways because I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. And I was like, maybe I'm not seeing a broken air sac. Maybe it's something else. Well, when I was putting it on lockdown, I candled everybody because I wanted to know which eggs were moving and which ones weren't. So out of the 10, only 4 I could see movement. But a lot of them, the shells were just so dark, I couldn't see anything. So, like, they just, were taking up so much room in there, or the shells were so thick that it's possible they were moving and I couldn't see. But they had very nice air sacs. They were exactly where they were supposed to be. So I feel pretty good that most of those eggs are still okay. But that one that had the broken air sac, no change whatsoever, no development. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to crack this egg open, and I'm going to figure out how old that chick was when it stopped developing, because my theory is that the air sac got broken when the bush hog went over the nest because of the vibrations. Because if it had been broken before that happened, she would have kicked it out.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. I mean, at least that was how I went through it in my head. So I was like, this egg was viable while she was sitting on the nest. So there's just no way. I was like, either it's still viable and I'm just reading it wrong, or something happened to it when the mower went over them. And I was like, I'm going to break this open. I'm going to look at how big the chick was, and then I'll know what day they're really supposed to go on lockdown so I can actually get this right. Well, I tried to crack the egg. And number one, it was so hard. Like, I banged it on the counter, just broke the shell. The membrane was like totally still intact. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't like get this open. And then I smelled it. I was like, oh my God, why am I doing this in the house? So I ran it outside and I took a kitchen knife and slowly like tried to get a little hole in it so that I could get it broken open and get the contents out. Well, when I pierced the membrane, it basically blew up. It was under so much pressure. It was so gross. I had to take a shower because I smelled like the spoiled egg, and oh my God, it was so gross. I couldn't even get myself to open it so that I could see the chick, because I kind of figured that at that point, if it was that bad, I wasn't going to be able to recognize anything in it anyways. So I took it to the woods and I dumped it. But that is why rotten eggs explode in the incubator. Because when the bacteria starts multiplying in there, it starts putting all the contents under pressure. It was You should have seen it. It was maybe I should have filmed it. I don't know. It was disgusting. It was so gross. I was like, never again. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Like, where did I even get that from? No. From now on, when I can tell that an egg is a dud in the incubator, I'm just gonna check it.
Ew. Yeah.
And the
Lessons
contents were all
learned.
green. Oh, it was so gross.
Oh God.
Oh. It took me like a whole day to get that smell out of here. It was so bad.
Oh God.
And you know what the worst part about my week is? That's not even my only rotten egg story.
What?
Yeah, a chicken laid an egg inside the run the other day. And so I had sent Aurora out to go collect the eggs because that's normally Orion's job, but he's still out of town. So I was like, hey, while I'm doing all the other chores, like, Aurora, go get a basket and you can collect eggs. She's like, oh, there's this one inside the run. Ew, it's so gross. And I thought that she was just grossed out because it was like in like some mud because the run was kind of gross because it's been raining here. So I was like, Aurora, just take it and put it on the counter. It's not a big deal. I'll take care of it later. If it's a bad egg, I'll throw it out. Like, no big deal. Well, she broke it when she got in the house on accident.
Oh no.
And it was a rotten egg.
Oh,
It
no.
hadn't been sitting out there that long, so I don't know what was wrong with it or where it came from. Like, it had just been laid that morning from what I could tell. Unless, like, one of them laid the egg in the nesting box, it got hidden, it went rotten, and then they kicked it out of the nesting box and decided they didn't want it in the coop either.
Oh my gosh.
But, oh, it was so bad. Jared and I walked in the house because we had finished up with all the chores, and we're like, oh my God, what's that smell? And we're looking at each other and we're like, did one of us track something in on our boots? And we're checking. We're like, no. And I'm like, it's getting stronger as we walk into the kitchen. We get in there and we're standing in the same spot where her bathtub had leaked. And I look up and I'm like, Aurora's toilet is right above this room. Please don't tell me that we are having a septic issue and there is septic like waste running through all of our walls. I'm like freaking out, like running around. And Jared's like, calm down. That can't possibly be what it is. Stop it. That is not what it is. And he looks around and he looks and he goes, hey, there's that egg. And he walks up to it. He's like, oh, it's the egg. The egg is rotten. And because she had broken it, she tried to use towels to clean it up. So there were like towels like littered from the kitchen to the mudroom to the laundry room with like that rotten egg yolk on it.
Oh,
We ended up just throwing some of them away because like the smell was so bad.
Oh.
I was like, next time Aurora tells us that an egg is gross, I'm just going to tell her to leave it and I'll take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Take her word on that one.
I was like, Alexa, turn on the good smells. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's a little better. We got some of those plugs and I plugged my Scentsy warmers into them. So now I can give Alexa
nice.
an instruction to turn them on and she does it.
Alexa's just the real VIP in all of this.
Right. Yeah. Well, and my husband who like hunted down all of the rotten egg yolk and scrubbed it all up. Oh, so bad.
So how do you feel now about the saying like last one in is a rotten egg? Like, do you just feel like that's just really bad now?
That's really bad. Like, that's got to be the worst insult you could possibly give anybody.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, you know, like
Not
outside
be.
really terrible, like hateful and racist things. But
Well, yeah.
I was trying to be funny. That came off wrong. Yeah, never mind.
Whatever.
Rotten eggs are gross.
We'll just stick with that. Yeah, that's fine.
I like that. That works. So what else have you had going on your farm?
Oh my God, I don't know. Like, it hasn't been like super great around here, honestly. I mean, it could be a lot worse. Like whatever's going around could have taken out a lot more of my chickens. But our ducks, they're pretty cute. Like the little ducks, they're cute. We were watching them.
They haven't murdered
outside.
anybody else?
No. They've cut back on their like murderino behavior.
I was gonna say you need to name one of the ducks Murderino.
Well, I have like a little Star Wars theme going on. So I'm trying to stick with that, but I am calling them like Murder Inc. when I walk by them.
Okay, there we go.
But I saw some pretty disturbing stuff today from Fernando. He had his pasta noodle out again. Fernando's a duck for some of you that might not remember. Yeah. And then I saw Rocket, who is, no, not Rocket. I saw Reginald. Reginald's another boy duck. And he was on top of Fernando, like in the pool, trying to have sex with him. And I'm like, is he trying to kill him? Is that what's happening right now? So I broke that up really fast because, I don't know if ducks are like, I know like dolphins, I think, can be homosexual, but I don't know if ducks can be. I think it's not good if they're trying to do that to each other.
Well, so it's got to be like a dominance thing.
Yeah.
So is his name Fernando or Ferdinand?
Fernando.
Fernando. So Fernando is trying to show dominance over him by like showing that he's the
Yeah.
Drake of the flock. But like I imagine that would do some damage to him because he's just not built that way, and ducks can be mean and cruel and like
Yes.
their animalistic like instincts. So I can't imagine that it's good or that it was consensual.
Yeah, I don't know, but I did just Google like and apparently this is like a thing that
Oh, okay.
happens. Yeah, they just do
So
this.
so what does it say?
Let me scroll back up here. I love backyardchickens.com. I'll just throw that out there.
I use that a lot when I need some
Oh,
information. Yeah.
me too. So it says males will try to mate and will actually mate with other males. I'm sure it's distressing to your young or to your other drake that's the one who's getting attention and to you. Is there any way? Okay, and then it's asking if you can like bring in some females. Yeah, and it says like it's a dominance or fighting thing, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's great. But with losing Groot, Groot was
I
actually
was
a
gonna
female.
say,
So
yeah,
now it's like a
you
1-to-1 ratio.
that's not
So,
enough. Yeah. You need
yeah.
more female ducks.
Which we have four. We have two Muscovies and two Cayugas that are getting bigger. Luckily, ducks grow really quickly. But I haven't been able to tell male female on those yet. And then we have two more that are a little younger. So I'm hoping we get quite a few females out of that. So it'll even it out. And it'll be less rapey
Yeah.
around here.
That's always good. I mean, when the rapiness level is at like a 1 or under,
Yeah, yeah,
everyone's doing much better. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
Like duck sex is just really hard to watch anyways.
Maybe that's why my husband doesn't want me to get ducks. I keep begging for them. He's like, "Can we just figure out what we're doing with the animals that we do have?" And I had to take Coop to the vet this week.
Yeah, I was just going to ask
So,
you about that.
yeah, it was kind of funny. So, I learned a couple of things this week. So, Coop was scouring, which is like that's goat speak for he had diarrhea. And it wasn't super bad, but it was bad enough that it was sticking to him. And that's how you can tell when a goat
Aw,
has scouring is their poop sticks to them. So like, it's all over their butt and their hind legs, and usually one of their herd members has some on it too because goats don't know what personal space is. So they're just like hanging out up against each other while they're pooping. So it was pretty obvious that somebody was scouring when I got in there. I figured out who it was. I got him and I got a washcloth and some water and I cleaned him all up. And I was like, all right, well, so I don't know exactly what's causing this. So I'm going to go ahead and give him some Nutri-Drench because I didn't know how long he had been scouring for. And I didn't want him to get dehydrated.
right.
And as soon as I gave him the Nutri-Drench, he sort of perked up a little bit. So I was like, all right, maybe he'll just kind of ride this out. But then I was thinking back and I realized, oh, I forgot to give them their boosters. And when I give their booster shots, I
Oh,
also treat for coccidiosis at the same time because it's just kind of assumed that all goat kids are carrying an overabundance of it. And it can get out of control in them really fast. And like coccidiosis can kill a goat kid like you wouldn't believe. So I went ahead and dosed him for the coccidiosis. I opted not to give him his booster yet because it was just like, well, like while he's sick, I don't know, like we don't give our human kids their booster shots when they're sick. We wait and, like schedule it a
yeah.
week or two after. So I was like, I'll wait and I'll do this when like, I've got like time to think about it and actually like get everybody done at the same time. The two goats that I picked up when they were older, they've gotten their full round. So in fact, I think that because it's been so long, I need to give them their shot, and then I need to give them a booster in 3 weeks again. So unfortunately, they're gonna have to have 3 shots, but that's all right. I got plenty of it, so I'm not too worried about
Yeah.
it. It was kind of a pain to give it to him, so I've been waiting for when my husband could help me, and then he was kept getting busy at work, and like mornings and evenings here are nuts, but those are the best times to do things like that because that was when bottle times were, and I was really trying to time it for bottle time, and then now they're weaned, so that ship has sailed.
Oh.
But I need to go buy a milking stand or build a milking stand so that I can tether them when I give them their booster shot. So I don't know. I'm probably still a couple weeks out on actually catching up on that. But I treated him with I used toltazerol as my coccidiosis treatment, and I get it from horseracingmeds.com. I think it gets shipped in from Canada. The United States doesn't use toltazerol on the regular, and like the vet didn't even know what it is. But my breeder said that what's so cool about toltazerol is that it's a 1-dose coccidiosis treatment. So you weigh them. There's like this math problem that you have to do to make sure that you give them the right dose. And then you dose them. And if it's an active coccidiosis outbreak, then you dose them again in 10 days. So like unlike Corid, which goes in the water and has to be in there, like for so many days, or I think it's Albin is the other thing. I can't remember if I've got that right. I think it's Albin, ALBON or something like that. That takes 7 days. That's a 7-day course. Like toltazerol is just a 1 day and then again in 10 days. So and it's supposed to be like super effective, and he swears by it. So I ordered a bottle because we treat for coccidiosis when we vaccinate as well. So his poop started looking a little better after the toltazerol, and I was super excited thinking that like, oh good, like I took care of it. This is going to be awesome. Like I'm not going to have to take him to the vet. And then the next day he was still scouring. I'm like, okay. So now it's been like 2 days. So I'm like getting up on the window to where this could start being really dangerous to him. I decided to go ahead and call the vet. So I was like, well, they'll do a fecal on him and then they can figure out whether it's a parasite or something else, or like if it really is coccidiosis, maybe I underdosed him. Then we can get this taken care of. Well, it turns out like either my vet that I have doesn't do fecals. Well, because it's like a super rural vet. It was, I told my husband, I was like, so I really like our goat vet. He's a super nice guy, but I was like, we're going to need to get a new goat vet sooner rather than later because he's super old.
Yeah.
So that also means that he's like super old school as well. So like he just looked at him and he looked at me and he's like, so have you ever wormed your goats? I was like, no, like I was going to worm them if they had an overabundance of worms, but I wasn't going to like just do it as a preventative. And he was like, well, it's super common for goats this age at this time of year, like with the heat and the humidity and whatnot, he probably just got a parasite. He's like, but, he's like looking at him. He's like, I'm going to give you stuff to deworm all your goats, and you're going to give him this Albon for 7 days, and he should be good as new. And like, that was it. I was like, well, like, I guess I could have figured that out and done that. But he looked at me really funny when I brought him in because I was like, well, but he was scouring. So I was really worried.
Yeah.
Like, I was worried for his health. Like, I know that Coop isn't one of my dairy goats. He's just like our pet goat. But like,
still,
he's super
still your
cute and he's
goat.
super sweet and he's still our goat. And we still we want to take the best possible care of him that we can. So like when he's sick, he's going to get vet care just like everybody else is. But I was just like, that wasn't exactly what I was expecting. But
Right.
it turns out that I have a really nice microscope here because my 12-year-old got one for his birthday last year from my parents.
Oh, hey.
And I'm going to learn how to do my own fecals.
Whoa. Whoa. That'll be awesome, though.
Yeah, I think it'll be useful for the chickens too, because like the chickens haven't been looking too hot lately. I think part of that's just the heat and like everything else. But like it'll be nice to be able to go out and just like do fecals on the chickens and the goats, just like check their worm load and see if that's like what's causing everybody to be a little because you can take care of that super easily.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
yeah, my preference is to treat everybody as naturally and as holistically as possible. But I also have a very great appreciation for modern medicine and the technology that we have to take care of
Yes.
ourselves and our animals. So, like, I would never let an animal die waiting for antibiotics or something else if I can't
Right.
find a holistic treatment to take care of it. So yeah, so it's just my uh that's Bev's medical outlook on taking care of animals. I mean, if you're, like hell bent on natural treatments only, I mean, you can run your farm the way that you want to. That's fine. You're not going to
Right.
get any. You're not going to get any pushback from me. I have just decided that that's how I want to do it because my tolerance for death is very low. At least like while I'm starting out still. I'm not totally jaded yet. Give me a year or two and then ask me how I feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No,
But he's getting better. So
That's good. That's good. I feel myself getting more and more numb to like the chicken deaths, which is really sad. And I think like once we figure out what's going on and like we don't have a death for a while, then I'll probably be more sad again. But at this point, it's just frustration when that sort of thing happens. So
I can totally see how that happens. Yeah. In fact,
But,
I was scrolling through Instagram the other day and I felt like I saw an unusual number of like pictures of chickens that had passed away.
Yeah.
At first I was like, "Ugh, why is everybody posting pictures of their dead chickens?" And I was like, wait, I'm like, I gotta stop being so judgmental. Like, this isn't something to bitch about. If that's how they want to process the death of their chicken, that's how they want to process it. If I don't like it, scroll by.
yeah, just scroll on by.
Yep.
Yeah, I send you pictures of my dead chicken.
Oh yeah, but that's different. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel like that's different. I'm not bothered by that whatsoever. I guess it's because like we're already talking about
Yeah,
about
about
what's
my
going on and
chickens,
what's so like
yeah.
I'm not surprised when I see it, so I'm not like shocked by it. But like sometimes
Right.
like I'll be scrolling looking for happy things on Instagram, I'll be in a bad mood, and then there's just like a picture of a dead chicken. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I personally like to, when a chicken passes, to post a picture of them of how I want to remember them. But you're right. Like,
But they might grieve
it's just all
differently.
in, yeah, exactly. And that's perfectly okay. It's like whatever. It doesn't bother me either way, really. I think at first, too, I kind of had the same reaction where I was like, what the heck? Like, why would you do that? And it's like, just because I wouldn't do something that way doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. It's not hurting anybody. Now,
No, it's not. I mean,
I did
yeah.
say, or I did see somebody post like that somebody commented on their photo of their dead chicken and was like, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? Like, this is gonna be so traumatizing to other people, da 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 da. But it's like, at the end of the day, if you're keeping chickens, they're gonna die eventually. You're gonna see it. So
Yeah, because
in
their
my
lifespans
mind-
aren't very long.
Oh yeah, no, and they can die so easily. Like they can just have a heart attack while they're running around.
So
you
true.
You need to get okay with the idea of death if you're having chickens. I think I said this last week too.
You did. Yeah, we have like kind of a theme going. Oh, which totally
Yeah.
reminded me. So, you know how last week we talked about how like, like chicken symptoms are like all the same. So it's hard to nail down like what the problem is. Google goat scouring for like
Oh,
30 seconds.
yeah.
And pretty much every goat disease starts with the goat having diarrhea.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, it says that your goat's going to die.
Yeah. It's just
I'm like, I'm
Google-
over you, internet, for medical advice. I'm going to the vet.
It's like WebMD for humans. Like you're gonna die.
Yeah, no, it was not that dire. And so far he's doing much better. His poop's still not like exactly what it's supposed to be, but it's getting better. And I needed to share something sort of embarrassing that I discovered about my goat stall. When he got sick, I was like, oh, well, Coop's sick. So like anytime someone gets sick, like whether it's the chickens or the goats or a person, their room gets cleaned and scrubbed down because I want to disinfect it so that I can get rid of all the germs so that everybody can start feeling better. Well, I pulled in the utility vehicle to start shoveling out their barn stall and I was like, oh my goodness. Why is this so gross under here? Like, what on earth happened? This can't be right. And then I remembered Oh, the last time I was gonna clean their stall, I had dragged straw bales in there for them to play on while I was doing all the work, and they tore them apart on accident.
Oh.
And when that happened, I was like, oh, well, now there's just like a fresh layer of straw on the ground. So this is good. This is fine. Well, all of the poop and pee had like sunk down to the bottom, all the way down to the dirt. So like on the top of their stall, it looked clean still, like the top layer of straw, and it didn't
Yeah.
even smell in there. But when I dug in, it was so gross. Like I can't even describe to you how gross it was. And because there were extra straw bales in there, like in addition to like the one that I would normally put in there, it took me 3 loads of the trailer and the back of the utility vehicle to get it all cleaned
Oh,
out. It took me 4
wow.
hours to clean. So when I put a new straw bale in there, I just put one in there and that's it. Like that's all you get. One straw bale worth of straw so that I can clean this in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, you had like the deep litter method going on.
Yeah, and you can't do deep litter method for goats. It just does not work out the same. But the compost pile is going to love it. And in fact, I threw it on the compost pile and I have a volunteer pumpkin out there that is like rocking my world. It
Oh,
is,
really?
yeah, it is like the size of one of my garden beds. That's how big this pumpkin plant is. I'm like,
Oh
we're
my
going to have
God.
so many giant pumpkins. I don't know what we're going to do with them. We'll give them to the chickens and the goats. They'll get to eat them.
There you go.
Hey Bev, did you know that there is a natural organic pesticide out there that you can use on your plants and around your animals without them getting sick?
Oh yeah, I totally did. Because you've got to be talking about First Saturday Lime,
Duh.
which is the lime that's unfroggettable.
Oh, snap, you went there. But I'm very happy to announce that there are no frogs harmed in the making of First Saturday Lime because we double checked in
Yeah,
our
we
interview.
totally did.
Because I was a little concerned about the poor froggies. But Ricardo is safe. He's good to go. And he's just the mascot for First Saturday Lime. And the name reminds you to lime every single month because you want to keep out pests and keep your fresh clean. And this time of year, I don't know about you, but the flies are terrible and disgusting in a chicken coop. And First Saturday Lime does a really good job of keeping that under control.
Oh yeah, and you don't just use lime like around the outside of your house and the outside of your coop to keep the pests down. I also throw my lime on the floor of the coop after I'm done cleaning it and I put the new bedding down because it helps keep the bedding fresher a little longer. And the chickens also love to bathe in it because it keeps like the mites and the lice and the other like external parasites down. So I throw it in their dust bath also. And it's totally safe.
Yeah, it's totally safe for them to even eat. It can actually help strengthen their shells because all it really is precipitated calcium carbonate, as our friend Jessica told us.
Big words.
Big words. Woo, Jessica. But basically, she described it as ground up Tums. So I think it's a great product to use, and I feel really good at using it around my fur, feathered, and human children.
Yeah, totally.
And you guys can get 10% off when you go to firstsaturdaylime.com and use code hashtag drink. Again, that's firstsaturdaylime.com. Use hashtag drink at checkout.
And you can use that code every time you buy lime because don't forget, you want a
Ooh.
lime every first Saturday.
So we got some questions to answer this episode, if I'm remembering correctly. And it's kind of funny. I'm glad that we got some questions because when I was done listening to Drinkin' Lime, the episode that we did with Jessica from First Saturday Lime, like I thought to myself, I was like, I figured out what we are. We're like the podcast that people can ask the questions that they don't want to ask anybody else like about. Because like, some
Oh.
chicken groups will be like super judgmental of a question like that. Because they'd like
Yes.
be like, oh, like, how can you not already know that? Like, you should be smarter than that or whatnot. Well, but no, we all had to start somewhere. Like, we
Yeah.
all have those questions that somebody else is going to deem silly. So, like, if you ever ask us a question, we don't think any of them are silly or stupid.
No.
And we're not
No.
making fun of you behind your back. We promise you. Because we have questions also about things.
We say stupid shit every time we record. Sometimes Bev edits it out, sometimes she doesn't.
Nope.
So there's that.
So yeah, so if you have a question that you think other people are going to make fun of you about, ask us, because we promise you we're not making fun of you behind your back, and we'll answer it. And we don't have to share your name if you don't want to. Like, I realized that might be why we haven't been getting a ton of farm stories or questions, because we named the people who gave them to us.
Yeah,
Like
we
in
can-
the
we can
early
tell people
episodes,
we can-
if you don't want your name said, like, just send it to us and tell us that you want it to be anonymous, and we won't share your Instagram handle or whatever.
Exactly. It's that easy.
Yeah.
But this first one is a super simple question, but I don't know that it's an easy question.
Oh.
What's your favorite chicken breed?
That's a good question.
Yeah. I feel like this might be easier for you.
Oh, yeah, because I don't have nearly as many chickens as you have. So
Yeah. Yeah.
my favorite chicken breed so far is my Plymouth Barred Rocks. Like, they're kind of also like my bitchiest chicken, because I'm pretty sure that they're like the two that are at the top of the pecking order. But like size wise, I feel like I have to worry about them a little less, because they're like super big, like beefy chickens. They just kind of like run around the yard here and seem like they own the place. But they'll also like let me pick them up, and they let me bathe them and take care of them when they need it. Like, some of the squirrelier chickens are just like so much harder to take care of for me. So like my Plymouth Barred Rocks, they love me. They come running when they see me. They'll let me pick them up.
Aw.
They're kind of bitchy to the other chickens, but yeah, that's my favorite.
I'm gonna cheat on this one.
Oh, okay.
And I'll do like a standard sized chicken, and then I'll do like a bantam. So
Okay.
my standard sized chicken fave is, right now anyways, it's my Amber Lynx. So they're like a yellowish, whitish chicken that have like a little bit of brown on their wings, but they're like kind of like your Barred Rocks, where they'll run up towards me, and they're super friendly, and they don't mind being picked up, and they lay these eggs that are like a more like a darker brown, not like a black copper Moran, but pretty damn close. I was surprised. But they lay really pretty eggs, and they're a little mischievous too. They like to jump up into my husband's toolbox and make him yell at him a little bit.
Does he? Do they leave him any surprises in his toolbox?
No, I don't think they have yet.
It's just waiting
good.
though.
Yeah,
They will
yeah.
eventually.
But they like to supervise work outside too, so they'll follow us around or go in the barn and kind of keep an eye on whatever we're doing. So they kind of give that micromanaging vibe, but they're still pretty adorable. So
My Plymouth Barred Rocks do that too. They were the ones that were following me around while I was weeding this morning. Which is why Bellatrix was featured for Chicken Selfie Sunday again today. I totally play favorites with Bellatrix. I probably shouldn't do that because my flock is so small. Like, I know the rest of them can tell, but yeah.
Aww.
Her personality. I really like her personality.
Yeah. It's hard not to have favorites.
Right.
It really is. And then for my bantams, I think it's like a tie between the Polish chicken and silkies, because I think they're just easy to catch and snuggle because they have a harder time seeing.
Yeah, their fluff is like in their face, so they can't get away from you.
Exactly. And they're just fun. They're good little models for Instagram. Like, they're total Instagram models. They definitely get a lot of likes when I post pictures of them, and I let them know so they can, puff themselves up a little more and feel good about themselves. So yeah. So like I said, simple question, not necessarily an easy one, but
Yeah, and I bet that'll change too as I get more chickens, because like right now I only have 10, so yeah.
yeah. And then we got this other person asked us like 3 questions in one message. So.
Okay.
But I don't know how in detail we want to go about this, because we talked about this in the first episode, because I'll just say Jackie Weissman, I'm pretty sure she's fine with me sharing her name. She said, "What made you guys get into farming? When did you decide you wanted to do your own homestead / hobby farm? And what was your first animal on the farm? Which I think we covered most of that in the first episode. So if we don't answer this thoroughly, you guys can go back to the first episode, which I believe is like called All Those Farm Sayings Are True.
Yep.
I believe. Yeah. If you want like a more in-depth explanation. Sorry the audio sucks on that one, but
We're getting better though. Like we're
Yeah.
slowly like coming into our own. I think it's still a good episode though. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
my first animals were chickens, and I think
Mine
yours is the
too.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I intentionally moved out to the country because I wanted to be a homesteader. I lived in the suburbs. I started sort of playing around with it in the suburbs. Due to circumstances outside of my control, I couldn't own any animals in our suburban lot, and I couldn't plant anything on our suburban lot because of the way that our house faced. So I just gave up and moved across the country.
No big deal.
There it is in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But
And
there's definitely more detail in that episode.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, go listen to that if you guys haven't yet. And then for me, like my grandparents are dairy farmers and I grew up a quarter mile down the road from them. So I spent a lot of time down there with the cows and the barn cats. So I kind of got hooked there, and then I bounced around like some different areas that were more like suburban / city. And then I was like, I've had enough of this. And then we came across this house with a barn and the chicken coop, and I didn't realize the chickens were going to come with the house until they offered them to us. And I was like, oh yeah, if we hate it, we'll just process them or get rid of them or whatever. But we ended up loving it, and I went from 11 chickens to like over 50 now. So that's how that happened. Whoops.
That was a nice brief recap. And
Yeah.
I think I've got some blog posts about kind of how I got started, so I'll link to those in the show notes if I can find any. I haven't been keeping up on my blog so much, but I used to write a lot when I first started because I didn't have as many animals to take care of, so I had a lot more time on my hands.
And now you have to talk to me like at least once a week.
Yeah.
It's been twice a week lately because we've been doing interviews.
Oh,
so.
yeah. And I'm excited. We've got 2 more interviews lined up. Sam doesn't know about one of them because I don't know how to send the Google Calendar reminders. So we'll talk about it after we're done. And then you can send
Okay.
out the Google Calendar reminders to everybody. But
Perfect.
yeah, we've got 2 weeks off from doing interviews because I'm going on vacation on the Bourbon Ale Trail. And then the following Friday, we'll be traveling to the Naperville Ale Fest.
Woohoo.
So yeah, so then like mid-July we'll be picking back up on interviews and doing that again. They make for really fun mini episodes, I think.
Yeah. And it's fun for us to talk to other people and get their perspectives on the whole homesteading, hobby farm type lifestyle. It's been very educational. Lots of laughs along the way too.
Oh yeah, and it's so fun to get to know these brands that like we've been supporting like throughout our journey, like with this whole like chicken keeping and goat keeping and like all the animal taken care of stuff.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah, because it's nice to put voices and like personalities to brands. I don't know.
Yeah, it
I like it.
personalizes it and it makes you feel good about what you're buying too.
Oh, yeah, totally. Well, thanks for listening to our finally legal episode of We Drink and We Farm Things. We're 18, so we can buy lotto
Woo!
tickets and gamble at Native American casinos.
Yes.
Is that basically all you can do at 18 now?
Well, there's that whole like Girls Gone Wild thing too, but I don't recommend that.
Oh, yeah, no. I don't
No.
recommend that either.
No,
I suppose
no.
you can buy cigarettes also, but I don't
Oh,
condone
yeah.
smoking either.
No, don't
But
do
if you
that.
do,
Yeah.
I mean, then that's what you do, but...
Yeah. We don't judge. My husband smokes.
Oh,
so-
okay. Yeah.
He was smoking around our chickens today. I was like, you're going to give all of our children lung cancer. And he just looked at me like, whatever.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Yeah, I realized in our last couple of sign-offs, like we haven't reintroduced ourselves. So I'm Bev.
And I'm Sam. And if you're not following us over at Drink and Farm on Instagram, you should probably just go ahead and do that, because I do post every single day pictures that have mostly Bev's taken right now because I've been lazy and haven't taken any. But we post every single day, and sometimes we ask questions and have fun things on there. So go check it out.
Yeah, and if you use our hashtag Drink and Farm, we might feature you. It's not super official. It's not super difficult. Just like, take a picture of you or your farm with your favorite adult beverage, or your favorite beverage. We've featured coffee.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
just like take a picture of drinking and farming responsibly, and maybe we'll feature you.
Yeah. We keep it super simple with our hashtag. So
yeah, you can be drinking out of a sippy cup for all I care. In fact, if you drink out of a sippy cup, I promise you'll get featured. How's that?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. I can definitely guarantee that too.
Okay.
And we might pull something from weeks ago. We might post something from that week. So just because you don't get featured one week doesn't mean it won't happen later. It just means that Sam's not super organized and doesn't have the patience to keep track of things.
Well,
so
we're trying to make it easy. We want you guys to be able to click on the hashtag Drink and Farm, so you can go follow and befriend your fellow Drink and Farm community members.
Yeah.
But also we want to be able to share some of your guys' photos too, because you guys take great photos of drinking and farming, and I'm sure that just seeing our farms over and over again can get kind of boring. So
yeah,
trying to spice up the Drink and Farm Instagram.
I might have to kick it up to twice a week, just because I'm okay, how many times can I take a picture of my barn?
Right? Yeah, I've been kind of running into that too. I'm I feel like I've done all these angles already. I can keep switching my glasses around, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. We got to get more creative over here, I guess.
Right.
Bev needs a donkey. Bev's donkey would take great pictures.
So my neighbor almost bought a donkey off of Craigslist while we were out drinking on Friday, because my husband is out of town with the kids, and we were joking about how when he comes back we should just have a donkey and all of the things I've been wanting here. He'll never go out of town again, but you'll still get your donkey. I'm oh my gosh, I cannot do that. He would go crazy.
Oh my god.
I'm sure that he's expecting it though. When he comes back, he's going to be rolling up the driveway very cautiously, checking to see if he sees anything new.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that though. But the Drink and Farm has a Pinterest page now. So go find us on Pinterest and pin our podcast episodes so that other people can find our podcast. And don't forget to rate us on iTunes and let us know that you rated us, because we'll enter you into our little giveaway that we're doing this month.
Oh yeah, which this will drop the 29th, so that means you only have a couple days.
Yeah, you've got until the 30th of June, right? Is that what we did the cutoff?
Yeah, I think so.
But even if you miss the deadline, give us a rate and review. We could use it.
Yeah, it helps us. It bumps us up and makes us more visible, so more people can experience our ridiculousness. So yeah, we appreciate you guys.
Yeah, that's all we got for today, right?
I think so.
Sweet. So drink.
Farm.
And give zero clucks. Awesome.
Woo!